Good afternoon, Facebook land. Can I see myself? Yes, I can. Good afternoon, everyone. Whew, it is hot out here on this porch, and I'm watching some clouds move by rather swiftly, and my tent flap a little bit out there. I might have to switch to swimming pool Saturdays if this heat wave doesn't break. I've been sitting inside working in the air-conditioned comfort of my house. Oh, and I've lost my signs in this wind. Oh, hopefully that's a cool change that's coming. But anyway, yeah, swimming pool Saturday would be nice, but I don't even have a swimming pool, so perhaps I'll have to join the ducks in their little pool. Let's see if I can get this guy to stay up there, because we want to know who we're talking to, right? There we go. I can't get the other one, it's behind the couch. So anyway, welcome to my Front Porch Friday. The reason I am going to be doing these weekly events is really because of COVID. We cannot connect with people out in the community like we used to. So I want to go live and just be me and allow people to get to know me, because as someone running for office, I certainly respect your right to choose who you want to vote for. That is absolutely your choice. But I want you to be an informed voter and know who you're voting for. So that's why I'm here sharing my vision, my values, my understanding of the different issues that we face. And then I also want to hear from you, to hear about the things that concern you, the things that keep you up at night, the things that legislation can actually address. So that's why I'm going live every Friday at noon. So I hope you will participate, and I hope you will enjoy them. I'm trying not to make them too long. I can't sit through a long video of someone talking either, so we'll just try to get straight to the point. I want to start by addressing two administrative topics, I guess. One is everyone should be requesting their absentee ballot now. We have no idea what the situation is going to be in November, and we need to do all we can to not overwhelm our Greene County Board of Elections. Requesting an absentee ballot now is the way to go. So I will put the link up. Actually, I think I did keep it. Let me just copy it to the ballot. So you can print out a ballot, fill it out, make your request, and then send it in to them. Or you can just call the Board of Elections directly if you don't have a printer. So I am just putting the link to the document right here. Oh yeah, you can call the Greene County Board of Elections. I don't have their number on hand. It's like 562 something, but you can easily find that with a quick Google search. The second thing is the census. The latest info I saw shows that only 66% of Ohioans have completed the census. Now, I know it's been extended, I think, till September, but again, don't delay. Put it on your get your phone out, put it as a reminder, and complete the census. I did it online. It literally took less than 5 minutes. Quick, simple questions, and we need to get those censuses in so that we can get the federal funding that's due to us. So again, absentee ballot request, census completion. Do those things stat. All right, so I just wanted to mention fundraising as well. We had a wonderful month in July. We had the most number of donations that we've received so far, and we received the highest amount of money so far. So that is wonderful news, and I thank every single one of you. I have done a batch of thank you cards, but I will admit, thank you, Michelle. There's the phone number for the BOE. I will admit that I am behind on writing my thank you notes because I am a hands-on candidate. I am doing all of this myself, and know that the cards and thank yous will be coming, but I thank you more than you would know. If you haven't donated, I ask you to consider it. I guess one way I look at it is I had 20,000 people vote for me last time. If only a small fraction of those people donated to my campaign, we would have the money we need to win this seat for the people of District 73. We don't have to have the most money to win. We just need enough money to win. As a small example, if 1,000 of those 20,000 people donated $100 each, we would have double the amount of money that I think we need. We're a very lean and conservative campaign. We have the leftover signs from last year. We have a lot of material from last election that we don't have to spend money on this time. We have an all-volunteer campaign team. So we will use that money to send out mailers primarily. We'll have some social media advertising as well. But yeah, mailers cost money, unfortunately, but that is the best way for us, especially in these COVID times, to reach the people of this district who aren't on my Facebook page, which unfortunately is a lot of people. But anyway, yeah, consider a donation. You go to kimmccarthyoh.com and you'll see the donation link, and I would appreciate it, and we will use your money wisely. So think of it as an investment in universal health care, in better schools, and in addressing the climate crisis. It's a great investment for sure. So I want to talk briefly about my vacation that the kids and I went on last weekend. It was just a 3-day or 3-night trip up to Hockings Hill, or Hocking Hills, I should say. I keep getting that confused. And it was really nice to spend time in the woods, away from technology, enjoying that those places that our tax dollars have put together for us. Great example of using tax dollars to create a wonderful investment for the greater good. And it was nice to take some days off. Like I said, I couldn't do the front porch Friday because my signal was very weak and I didn't want to risk it. Can you hear my ducks over there? They're enjoying the little swimming pool that I wish I had a adult-sized version of. But yeah, so nice to take that time off. November's coming quickly, and I'm going to be like all steam straight ahead until November. But when I think of vacation, you know what comes to mind? My opponent. Because it seems like my opponent is on vacation as well from the campaign. There is zero coming out of the Republican candidate for District 73 on his social media. Zero. Doesn't have a Twitter, doesn't have an Instagram, at least that I'm aware of, and his Facebook page is cobwebs. He has posted a handful of memes, Happy Mother's Day, Happy Flag Day, that kind of thing, but there has been nothing from him to show the people of District 73 what kind of leader he would be, remembering that he has not been an elected official before. I don't know much about him at all, only a few things here and there. He should be showing us what kind of leader he would be for us. He should be explaining to us his values. He should be putting himself out there and letting us know what he stands for, what he's going to do in Columbus, and we're not seeing anything. He is on vacation. And, you know, that's just complacency, right? You know, we all know that Republicans have held this seat for decades. So I guess he feels like he doesn't have to do anything. If he's not even going to pretend to care about the people of this district in the actual election, what is he going to do if he is elected? He is already showing that he doesn't really have much invested in this. He thinks that he is a shoo-in, I assume. Or he doesn't understand the topics. He doesn't understand the issues we face. Our country right now is in crisis. Our state is in crisis. Millions of people have lost their jobs. We have a pandemic going on. We have a civil uprising, and he is saying nothing. Not a word. I like to think that I have already shown you what kind of leader I will be. I have been doing this for quite a few years and putting myself out there and sharing my opinion so that people can know who I am and make a choice whether they want me in a leadership role or not. He's not doing the same thing. In fact, yesterday I had my endorsement. There's the rooster. I had my endorsement interview with the Ohio Education Association, basically the teachers union, and he did not show up. He did not respond to their request for an interview. So that, that is so disappointing. This is a man who said to a voter on his own Facebook page, the voter asked him about the school funding issue, relying on property taxes, what an important and unconstitutional issue it is, and what he was going to do about it. And he told him that he had no idea, he didn't have any plans for that issue, but it was very important to him. It was priority, is what he said. Well, how much of a priority could education be to him if he's not even going to show up to an endorsement interview with a bunch of teachers, the people who know exactly what's going on and what needs to be fixed in our education system? So big thumbs down to him. And if you care about schools and you care about our children, I am the only candidate that should be considered, period. So that's a nice little segue into our next topic, talking about our schools, talking about going back in the fall. So I've had a number of posts this week on my Facebook page, and there's been great discussion about it. I've got 2 children myself. They're both going into 10th grade in Bellbrook, and I am not comfortable with them going back to school. It doesn't help that I don't really know what the school has planned. I have twins. One of them wants to go back. The other one's not so sure. So, of course, I have a mixed bag here. But the schools don't know what they're doing, unfortunately. So it's hard as a parent to decide. Now, I understand that there is not much of a choice for many parents. I am grateful that I have the opportunity to say, you know what, my kids are going to learn digitally. They're going to be remote for the first semester, at least. I know not every parent has that choice, and I respect their right to want to send their kids back to school. My kids, like I said, are 10th grade, much easier than if they were much younger. I know the burden falls onto parents a lot more the younger they are. So I am not making any judgments on any person's decision. But for me, I'm grateful that I can keep my kids home because I don't want them getting sick and being a part of spreading it throughout our community. So last night, the Bellbrook Sugar Creek Board of Education had their monthly meeting, and Betsy Chad, the curriculum director, was on the call, and she spoke about, what's going to happen and what's been investigated behind the scenes. And without repeating everything she said, you can look that up on the YouTube channel of the school. But, there's kind of 2 options, right? They either go to school or they stay home, or, well, I guess 3 options, a hybrid situation. But if we have a hybrid situation, all of a sudden our teachers are faced with 2 different scenarios that they have to prepare for. They have to teach kids in the classroom, and then they also have to teach kids at home. And obviously that's 2 different ball games. So is it fair for us to burden our teachers, our already overburdened teachers, with these 2 different methods of teaching at the same time? I don't think it is. I don't think it's fair. And it seems like we don't even have the equipment, we don't have the setup, and we certainly don't have the money to do that separated, or those 2 different ways of teaching at once. They talked about having a private company, which I couldn't quite, she didn't go into great detail, so I kind of missed a little bit of how this private company would work, but they're somehow involved in sending, I don't know if it's a live stream or they're actually teaching, but you know, a private company to teach kids remotely costs money, and we just don't have that money. So after listening to her, the only obvious solution, because of all the unknowns, and some of those unknowns being they don't know how many parents are going to send their kids in and how many are going to stay at home. And those parents can't make those decisions until they know how the school is going to handle it. And it's like the school doesn't know how they're going to handle it until they know how many children they're going to have. So it's, you know, it's not an easy situation. And I feel for the administrations and the teachers alike and the parents, all of us. This is a unique situation none of us have faced before. But anyway, with all of that being said, it seems like the only solution that you can see as a clear path is to have everyone go remote. I realize for the people that can't or don't have that option, then perhaps we should be addressing those people and trying to deal with them on a one-on-one situation. But basically, every person that can go remote should go remote. That was the only solution I could see. I don't know where it's going to end up, and perhaps there will be some different solutions as we go forward and get more information and see where this virus is in a month's time. But yeah, the big thing that's holding everything back, which I discussed this week, is funding. We've already had the $300 million taken back from the state budget that we were not counting on. The rainy day fund is going to be accessed as per DeWine's instructions this fiscal year. We did get a little bit back from the federal government, but basically it is not enough to adapt and to prepare and to have the resources needed. If we want to have kids in the classroom, it takes money. So the HEROES Act sitting in Congress is really the only solution for us at this point. The state government can't print money, the federal government can. We came up with trillions of dollars for businesses when they needed it. Why can't we do the same thing for our schools? There is no reason. I posted an article this morning talking about how the private and religious schools in our area got millions of dollars through the PPP loan program, payroll protection program. That is because those private schools are companies and they have payrolls and they were able to access that money. But our schools, not being companies, being institutions with the aim of educating our children, they could not and were not eligible for those PPP loans. Imagine if the schools could have their payroll paid for. I mean, payroll is the primary expense for our schools. So there is no excuse that we can't do a similar PPP loan for our schools. The money was invented for the companies, and it needs to be invented for the schools. So Rob Portman, our senator, Mitch McConnell, who's holding it up, Sherrod Brown has said that he supports this, so it has to get to the Senate, of course. And who else do we have? Mike Turner. Give those people a call and tell them that our children need their help. We are in a crisis situation. We have 1 month before school starts, and nobody knows what's happening. And without money, nothing is going to happen. All right, so that's probably my rant for today. I don't know if there's any questions. I got a couple of minutes. I didn't know. There's a few comments. Michelle wrote suggestions, but I'm not sure what she was referring to or what I was talking about when you wrote that. Sorry. Look, there's no easy answers, but funding obviously is a huge part of the equation. And until we have that, the solutions are very limited. So, um, remote, if possible, for families for the first few weeks, months, until the number of active cases in the county are reduced to zero. Yeah. I mean, we can't be putting our kids back into school when the cases are continuing to rise. It just seems insane. And frankly, we all know that Trump's all caps tweet saying that school must open is ridiculous. And he's obviously just trying to make himself look good. Politicians should not be involved in this decision, only so far as funding the educators, the people who do know what we need to get our schools open. So, all right, well, that's it from me for today. Thank you for tuning in. And if you come in and watch this later, thank you for watching it later as well. If you have any suggestions for things you'd like me to talk about, feel free to send me a message and I'll be happy to include those. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend and stay safe and keep asking questions and being involved in your government, because electing me is not going to change things, but when the community gets involved and understands the issues and voices their concerns, we get a movement of people, and that is what makes change, and that's what we're looking for. So, all right, have a good day.